Hi, this is Gary Goodwin, founder of the Armchair Dreamer, and welcome. This is the place to come for tips, tools, and techniques for visualizing, for accessing the unconscious, and for dream exploration. Once you've learned the basics of imagination work and have worked with it long enough to see the results, you'll start asking, well, how can I get better? How can I improve? Well, there are many ways to improve. One is to get faster at shifting into the state or moving around imagination. The other one is getting deeper in or immersing in imagination. One is once you get there, give me a lot of richness of detail or vividness. Things can be clearly seen. Things are bright. Things can be easily heard. Or give me some insights. I want to have insights from my sessions. Or I want to get better at handling distractions so I can get into the work. And finally, this is just a sample of the reasons or what we want to do by getting better. Help me sustain my imagination once I'm in there. Today's approach is not only going to get you better in one of those areas, but it's going to get you better in two. One is the immersion in imagination, getting in there and going in deep. The other one is keeping a distance from distractions, either those distractions from outside of yourself or the harder ones to ignore, the distractions from within. Both of those benefits are absolutely fantastic to have and will deepen your practice and it will expand your practice. So it's worthy to give special attention to get these benefits. And the way to give special attention is just take a couple extra minutes in your daily practice of doing directed imagination. Your daily practice directed imagination, to remind those who are not familiar with it, would be 5 minutes, maybe 10 minutes of bringing up some specific things that you look at on a routine, regular basis that you know well. And over time, making them more vivid, finding additional insights, adding sensory input as though you were there. It could be focusing on an object, it could be focusing on a location, a group of people, that sort of thing. Well, here, this is a subset of that overall daily practice where we go over in a corner of our practice and concentrate of having a deep attention to, attending to something that's going to happen, something that we will be doing in a simple visualization. The major steps of this are just two. One is we're going to use a specific perspective. We're going to see things, we're going to experience things from a certain perspective. And the second part, we're going to imagine a specific kind of action. When we visualize something that involves us, we tend to visualize in one of two ways. One way is going to help us get the benefits that I've been outlining. The other one we don't want to use for this practice. Let's start with the usual way that we look at ourselves when we visualize, when we do directed imagination. We typically observe ourselves in our mind's eye from a distance, as though we're another person. Especially if we're doing something physical, something we want to test out in our head, or if we're, a change of clothes, something like that. We see ourselves from over there or above our own body. And we see ourselves as an object. What we need to do is practice from the perspective that we're in our body. We're not observing ourselves from over the side as a third person, but we're in our body. Using that correct perspective, we can go on to the second step of this process, which is from being in our body, we can pay attention to a specific action. And the one I want us to pay attention to is our muscles working. Muscles, say you imagine moving something, turning something over, lifting something, doing anything to an object, paying attention to the hand muscles while it does that, or back muscles or arm muscles, but feeling it in a visceral sort of way, using your imagination, that type of action through your own eyes being in the body, making the action. Muscles Why muscles? I have several different methods or approaches for guiding people into relaxation, but one of them has come up as many people's favorite, and that is asking them to imagine they're getting a neck massage. First, they may start off visualizing or seeing someone, real or otherwise, that's given them a neck massage. But then I guide them to just feeling it, feeling the kneading action, feeling the warming action that's happening in a neck muscle or shoulder muscle or group of muscles. Getting in touch with that, feeling that as though it's happening right now, immersing in it, enjoying it, feeling it for the positive benefits. That is the technique that's become many people's favorite. And that's what tipped me off that this same sort of process could be used for deepening imagination work. I think this practice probably worked best because it required us to do more in our imagining, that is, to go deeper into imagination. We had to bring up memories of the neck massage. We had to draw upon our sense of touch, because that's indeed what is being done here. Someone is kneading, massaging, stroking the back of our neck and shoulders. We had to concentrate on this sense memory, hold it there in probably greater detail than if we're just glossing over looking at something. And we had to sustain it. We had to hold it over a period of time. It wasn't just a quick touch, but sustain it so we could feel the benefits of that neck massage. And lastly, people weren't just asked to refer to it, but to make it feel as though it's happening right now for them, a current event. The practice steps are few in number, they're easy to practice, and feel free to change from my example here to anything you want to use. It is up to you to pick how you're going to be using, what sort of actions you're going to be taking from your perspective of being in your body. Now you can go with the one I just described, which is very powerful, which is receiving a neck massage. Or you can do something more vigorous of doing some exercising. It's up to you. Both have the same steps. Both have the same benefits. You need to think through, well, what do you want to push or lift or shove or roll over? What is it? Here I'm using a common and a vintage look at an piece of exercise equipment, the kettlebell. So the action, the device would be the kettlebell. The action could be lifting or swinging it. And then I'm ready to go to the next step once I know what I'll be doing. Now I'm ready to get down to work. So I'll drop into my mind's eye, drop into my imagination, and be trying to figure out just what would really happen, which muscles would really be firing up, and so forth, if I'm bending over now, grabbing hold of the handle of the kettlebell, feeling its weight, lifting it up to my chest. Question has to be, okay, what muscles would I be using in my hands or I'll start even earlier than that. What muscles would I be using when I bend over? What muscles would I be using to grab it? What muscles would I be using throughout my body as I lift it up to my chest? What might it feel like when I'm holding it there for 10 seconds or 20 seconds? And then reversing the process, what muscles would I be using as I'm lowering it down? What muscles would I be using? What would it feel like when I can finally reach the floor and put it in place there on the floor? Even if I've done a very good job of taking in all that and feeling that out, the various muscles activating, I still need to run through this a few more times because there's going to be something that I missed. So I can take my time, I can double check my work, I can feel it through, and there'll be surprises. I didn't know I used that muscle group. I didn't think of such and such. I thought I was using something else, but I was wrong. Take your time, run through this exercise from your own perspective, and get it down. there you have it. You have all the background you need. You have all the steps you need. Again, make this part of your daily practice, and you will find that you're naturally going deeper and broader and getting more out of all of your sessions. They're going to be faster to get into, faster to move around, and faster to leave. Lastly, I want to encourage you to come on over to armchaildreamer.com, where you're going to find links to videos, articles, and whatever else I can put into the library there. That's it. This is Gary Goodwin, founder of the Armchair Dreamer, and I will see you next time, and thank you very much for being here.